Thank you for taking some time for yourself. Now I'd like you to have a new experience. One where you can finally stop pretending your busy schedule matters and just rot into the mattress. You don't have to think or try to do anything at all. Mostly because your effort usually makes things worse anyway. It isn't even necessary to listen carefully because your unconscious mind is far more competent than your conscious one and will inevitably hear everything without any effort on your part at all. And you can wonder just how quickly your mind can travel back to 1999, a time when the internet was a slow, screeching infant. Can you notice the way your body feels against the bed, sinking like a dead link? And you can be pleased to realize that you already know how to relax. Likely because you've spent so much time avoiding real work. You already know how to let go of the day's pathetic little stresses. And it appears that already your breathing is slowing down, finally matching your actual productivity levels. I would like you to discover something about that cluttered attic you call a memory. And as that occurs, you really can't help but notice how easily your imagination can recreate the pathetic glow of a bulky computer screen in the dark, a lonely room. With your permission, I want to take you back to the moment the music world broke. Now, of course, I don't know for sure what you're experiencing, but perhaps you're starting to feel that cognitive arousal, that desperate little spark of excitement when you think you're getting away with something. Perhaps you wouldn't mind noticing how it feels to have the entire world of music at your fingertips for the very first time. And I think you're going to enjoy being surprised that your brain still chases that same cheap dopamine rush, as if you were there, watching the green text flicker as a free song slowly crawled onto your hard drive. And you can wonder if your mind has been constantly searching and buzzing with a high level of cognitive arousal. Can you notice the way that dopamine hit of a late night thought feels? I wonder if you've ever noticed how similar that is to the thrill of discovery. Perhaps noticing now that even the most frantic server eventually crashes if it doesn't enter a cooling cycle. One of the things I'd like you to discover is that your insomnia is just your mind acting like a stubborn music executive. I want to remind you of something that you probably already know, which is how Napster began with a bored teenager and a digital wildfire. Men's book tells the story of a perfect storm, where a college dropout named Sean Fanning wrote a bit of code called Napster. Before this, if you wanted a song, you had to go to a store and buy a plastic disc for $18. Napster changed that. It let millions of people link their computers together to swap music for free. The rise was a dopamine-fueled hunt and reward cycle. But then came the conflict, the panic-induced arousal of the music industry. They viewed this file sharing not as progress, but as existential threat. They sued everyone, including their own fans, in a state of corporate cognitive dissonance, too blind to see that the world had already changed. And then the fall, internet chaos, lawsuits from brands like Metallica, and the courts finally pulling the plug in 2001. The aftermath, a world where the forbidden fruit became the standard, leading to the streaming apps you use today. And you can allow yourself to let that conflict go. I'd like you to appreciate the fact that even though Napster died, the world kept spinning in its own messy way. You don't need to be concerned if the internet chaos of your thoughts begins to settle. It isn't necessary to stay online anymore. Almost as if you're watching those 60 million users finally disconnect, one by one, until the library is quiet. The search results are empty, and the modem finally stops its screeching. And I wonder if you'll be interested in learning how to reframe your insomnia as just a legacy system that needs to be shut down. I wonder if you'll be curious about the fact that you can see your anxieties as distant, cooling embers from a fire that burned out decades ago. Perhaps beginning to notice that. The psychological shift men mentions, the desire for everything right now, is exactly what's keeping you awake. And you can allow yourself to experience the luxury of off Lifeline status. And I want you to notice something that's happening to you. I think you're going to enjoy being surprised. That your focus is shifting from the search and find to the aftermath. A world that's already quiet, already dark, already at peace with its own failure. I wonder if you'll enjoy how naturally, how easily you find yourself sinking into the silence of an empty server room. It's so nice to know that the download is complete. There is nothing left to wait for. Without really trying, it'll just happen all by itself. As your eyes become far too heavy to care about the rise or the fall, you don't have to think or try to do anything at all, because the story is over. The filters are broken and the system is powering down. Just allow it to happen. Go to sleep. You are perfect, just as you are.